To the people who make communities come alive, I'm really glad you're here with us today. You might not realize this yet, but your first online community might have been a messy group chat or a random forum where everyone had usernames like DragonMaster92 and somehow you still felt at home. Welcome back to the Engagement Playbook, where every Tuesday we explore how communities grow, connect, and come alive. I'm Kailah Romine, founder and CEO of Kannect, where we build technology that helps organizations connect, communicate, and collaborate better with their community members. Today, we're taking a walk through time together, not in a fancy science fiction way, but in a very real, very human way. We're going to talk about the evolution of community technology. From those early forums on clunky computers to social platforms that tried to swallow the internet to mobile apps that now live in our pockets and follow us everywhere. We'll look at the community tech timeline, the history of digital engagement, and what all of that means for the future you're building right now. And here's where it gets interesting. If you look closely, every chapter of community technology has been trying to answer the same simple questions. How do people find each other? How do they talk to each other? How do they feel like they belong, even when they are not in the same room? The tools keep changing. The human needs do not. So let's start with the early days. Picture a computer with a big, heavy monitor and the kind of internet that made that loud, scratchy sound when it connected. You did not have feeds yet. You had forums, message boards, simple spaces where someone would post a topic and people would reply underneath. Biologically, this was new. Your brain was used to face-to-face cues. And suddenly, words were arriving from strangers you had never seen. Your nervous system had to decide, is this safe or not, when you could not see a single face. Emotionally, forums felt both thrilling and awkward. You could find people who liked the same tiny niche thing you loved. You could also feel ignored if no one replied. That little rush when someone answered your post, that was your brain saying, you belong a little more now. Socially, these spaces were often run by one or two passionate people who set the tone. If they cared about kindness and clear rules, the space felt like a small neighborhood cafe. However, if they allowed chaos, it felt more like a crowded street where you wanted to keep your head down. Digitally, the architecture was simple. Threads, replies, maybe private messages if you were lucky, no endless scroll, no algorithm, just humans deciding to show up. From a leadership point of view, early moderators were basically community pioneers. They learned quickly that if they did not guide the group, it either went quiet or went wild. Behaviorally, people logged in from their desks at certain times of day. Engagement had a rhythm. You would post, walk away, and come back later to see who answered. Now fast forward a bit, social platforms arrive. Suddenly, community is not just focused forums. It's everyone, everywhere, all mixed together, friends, brands, news, memes, everything in one river of content. Biologically, this changed the pace. Your brain went from slow letter-style communication to constant stimulation, notifications all day, new posts all the time. Your nervous system started surfing a wave that never ended. That can feel exciting, but also exhausting. Emotionally, social platforms created a new kind of belonging and a new kind of loneliness at the same time. You could see your community, but you could also see everything you were not invited to. You could join groups, but you could also get lost in the noise. Socially, people formed micro-communities inside giant platforms. School groups, nonprofit supporters, neighborhood watch, and parents in the same classroom. The tools were not built only for them, but they tried to carve out their own corner anyway. Digitally, the architecture got more complicated, feeds sorted by algorithms, not just time. Reactions and likes became little signals that your brain started to crave. Visibility depended on rules no one fully understood. As a leader, this era was both a gift and a headache. You could reach more people quickly, but you did not fully control the space. If the platform changed a feature, your whole strategy had to change with it. If your community depended only on rented space, it could feel fragile. Behaviorally, your people started checking in on the go, short bursts when standing in line or while waiting in the car. Engagement became tiny and frequent instead of slow and deep. Simple systems create stronger communities. Now let's open another chapter. Mobile apps and dedicated community platforms. Instead of your people gathering in a crowded town square of the internet, you begin to see more curated spaces built just for them, like school portals, member hubs, donor communities, and volunteer apps. Biologically, something cool happens here. When a digital space is focused and predictable, your nervous system can rest a little more. Your brain learns, When I open this app, I know what I am going to find. I am not going to be overwhelmed by everything everywhere. Emotionally, these spaces have the power to feel more like home. They can reflect the language, values, and rhythms of your specific community. They can show your colors, your tone, your story, not just the branding of a giant platform. Socially, members can start to see the same names and faces over and over. That repetition matters. The more often we see someone in a space that feels safe, the more our brains file them under familiar, and familiar feels safer than random. Digitally, the architecture can be built around what communities actually need, like clear groups, simple messaging, and privacy that makes sense. Places for announcements and separate places for conversation so nothing important gets buried. From a leadership angle, this is where you get to be more intentional. You are not just borrowing someone else's megaphone. You are building your own room. You decide the rules, the flow, the design, the guardrails. Behaviorally, you can guide people into healthy rhythms. Maybe they expect one main update at a certain time of week. Maybe they know where to go when they need help and where to go when they just want to connect. Now, let me take you into another moment. It's early morning, and a director at a community center is sitting at their desk thinking about how much has changed since they started. They remember the paper sign-up sheets taped to the wall, the phone trees, the emails that always ended up in spam, the Facebook group they used for a while where events got lost between vacation photos and viral videos. Now they open a single community app on their laptop and see something different. They see an event list that everyone can access without hunting. They see a quiet message from a parent thanking them for last night's program. They see a teen asking a question in a safe chat channel that's just for youth and trusted staff. They notice something else too. People are not just getting information. They are forming patterns, replying, checking in, offering help, and asking for support. Digital engagement has a history, and you are living in a moment where the tools are finally starting to understand what communities truly need. Let's make this more personal. Think about one member of your community. Maybe it's a volunteer, a parent, a student, a small business owner, a neighbor. They wake up and check their phone. There are messages from all kinds of places, work, social media, random promotions. Their brain is already sorting ignore. Maybe later, please stop sending me this. Then they see a notification from your space. They tap it. The message is clear and kind. It's relevant to their actual life. It doesn't demand more than they can give today. It sits inside a platform where they understand who can see what. Biologically, their body relaxes. No alarm bells. Emotionally, they feel included, not pressured. Socially, they can see others participating in a way that feels real, not performative. Digitally, the experience is smooth. No 15 clicks just to find one answer. They close the app and think, I'll come back to that later, and they actually do. That tiny decision is the result of decades of evolution in community technology, from simple forums to wild open social platforms to more focused, purpose-built community tools. At Kannect, this is the story we are stepping into on purpose. We look at where community technology has been and we keep asking, what would it look like to build the next chapter around real human needs instead of just noise and numbers? We care about where this is going. We care that future platforms feel less like billboards and more like gathering spaces, making connection easy so we can make engagement natural. So, what does all this mean for you right now as a leader? It means you do not have to stay stuck in tools that were built for something else. Just because a big social platform is loud does not mean it's the best home for your community. It means you can honor the past while choosing tools that match the future you want. You can take the best lessons from forums, like focused topics and clear threads. You can take the best from social platforms, like easy sharing and quick reactions. Then you can combine those with modern privacy, simple design, and real ownership of your space. It also means you get to think long term. What kind of digital home do you want your people to have 5 years from now? What kind of patterns do you want their bodies and brains to associate with your messages? What kind of history do you want your community to look back on and say, that's when it started to feel better? The evolution of community technology isn't just about software. It's about the story of how humans keep trying to stay connected as the world changes. And you are part of that story. Every decision you make about where your community gathers, how they communicate, and what tools you choose shapes the next chapter. If you choose tools that respect attention, protect privacy, and make it easy to find and feel belonging, your people will not just follow, they will flourish. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe and share it with the leaders shaping the future of engagement, and visit Kannect.co to explore our community engagement playbook. It's not just a guide, it's a complete breakdown of how to scale your efforts, build culture in real time, and create communities that stay connected with low-effort methods that have been proven again and again. And if you want to keep the momentum going, tune into the Engagement Playbook podcast every Tuesday for real stories from the front lines of connection. You will hear the rhythms, the behind-the-scenes moments, and the simple, actionable strategies that turn engagement into something you can feel the next time your people walk in the room. Keep building, keep connecting, and I will see you in the next episode.